Hello, friends. Welcome back to Just Deal with It with Tamara and Shanae. I have to tell you, I am pretty excited about today's topic, dating horror stories. I'm sure we've all had a couple of them that we could talk about, but I have to tell you, I think this today that the inspiration was Tamara. Tamara, the stories you have told, I like jaw dropping, unbelievable. But I know that your story started out from something that you had created on Facebook or on social media. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So, hi everybody, first of all. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to our podcast. And today we're going to talk about just how all this started for me. So, some years ago, I was hit by a car um, as I was crossing the street. I lost my job. I lost everything. And I pretty much was in a wheelchair for 6 months after the incident happened, healing and physical therapy. And throughout that time, I'm going to be honest, I'm a very active person. Like, I'm very people person. I always need people around me. I love it. I enjoy it. And I really didn't have any much resources for that because everyone has a job, everyone has a life, right? So Facebook was popular back then, but the group aspect of
Facebook for
Facebook
the
was
old people.
right.
That's what
Yeah,
my
but
kids
like
say,
the
actually.
right, exactly. Yeah, old people started joining Facebook. That was that was new when you see your dad on there or something like that. Luckily for me, I still haven't seen my dad on there. Thank God. Oh, he wouldn't be proud of me. But um so basically what I did was I created a community. It was like one of the few first groups. And it was called Dating Horror Stories. And basically because of the all of the I felt like it was going to be really fun to accumulate different people's horror stories and their first dates, and it's also something that's relatable for everybody.
Yeah,
Because if you're trying to date and you're trying to meet somebody, you're gonna go through this. You're gonna kiss a bunch of frogs
that's yes, absolutely.
before you're gonna meet Prince Charming, right? Or
Does he
something
exist, by the
similar to
way?
Prince, or your knight in shining tinfoil, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Is that
so
what they say in Russia?
no, because they say knight in shining armor, and I call
Yeah,
them knight in shining tinfoil because this is reality versus fantasy.
yeah,
Um,
totally. Uh,
you know, but yes, so this group was created and it became a space for a lot of locals. Where I am from, I'm from Brooklyn. So a lot of locals came in. We had a pretty large group and they felt comfortable sharing their stories. And so in today's episode, I did contact a few of them. This is like 10, 15 years ago. So um, I got their approval for us to share a couple.
that's
We actually are
exciting.
gonna get we're gonna call in somebody who's gonna share their story, who's also part of this group. So she's a dear friend of mine. You guys are gonna love that story. And yeah. So how
Let's
I
get started
started the
with
group.
yours, though.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
I need to.
Yes.
We need to hear your story because when we were sitting, we were coming back from a massage, and we talk all the time, but coming back from massage, sitting in traffic, and you're sitting there telling me these stories, and I'm like, there's no possible way this is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Uh,
didn't have one or two. You have like I think a book of them.
I mean, at a point I thought that maybe this is a curse or something. I don't know. Maybe this is like a generational curse where I have to, take on this weight of everyone's sins in my family line or something
And like
because
all your ancestors and your cousins, and your like,
yeah,
yeah, because that's
because
what it sounds like.
it was just so systematic with with this craziness. It was just like attracted to me, and I don't know
Yeah,
why. Because yeah, I could be a little crazy, I could be a little fun, but
a
like
little bit
not like
humorous, a little
that.
bit.
Not like that. But anyway, we're gonna start the story circulation, and my first story, it's my own personal story. It's about this very large man. Keep in mind, I'm not a small girl, and I'm not even denying that. But
I'm already laughing because I know where
where
the
we're
story is
talking
going.
about, we're talking about something else. All right, so let me just set the stage for this one,
Wait,
right?
large man as in large or like large?
Everywhere, like in all dimensions.
Okay.
Like, no, I didn't see that. Thank God. Oh my God, it would have
Okay,
killed
well,
me. Are you kidding me
because you
today?
have seen some. You have seen some.
I've seen some, yeah, but that one, thank God. Thank God for small miracles.
I
You
just have to
know,
say, tell our listeners, you actually have a penis story, which I'm hoping that you share, if not this one, in our next episode of Dating Horror Stories.
wait, hold on. Which penis story? There's a few.
The one in the car, he wanted you to make fun of him.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. I'll actually, I'm gonna use that one today too. But
Cool. Yeah, I love that.
that's gonna be later. That's gonna be later. I want to start with the large man because I think that kind of sets the stage of how I get myself into these
Let's
situations.
do it.
In previous episodes we did talk about how people meet, right? How to meet a man.
Yeah.
So why am I different? I'm not different. you know. So my bestie calls me up. She's still my bestie, by the way. I forgave her. Um,
Okay, that's another story. Forgiving
yes.
besties.
My bestie calls me up and she goes, "Hey, so me and my husband, we went to this wedding and we were hanging out at this the table and we had this really, really sweet guy there." She calls me Tam. She's like, "Tam, um, he's a big dude," she says. "He's a big guy, but his personality, he just shines. He's so funny, and I think you guys
That
would just
already was
smash."
a red flag, girl, right there.
Right, if of course, but let's keep in mind, let's put this back. I'm like 30, like maybe 29, something like that. I'm still relatively like sampling out the good. Plus I'm still in the systematic 20-year relationship in and out. So like, and and all my friends
But
are like,
he's selling his personality. We know what
yeah,
that
he's
means.
selling his personality. She's like, and you know what? I'm one of those people, like, I'm gonna go for personality. I never paid attention. Of course, if you're attracted to somebody, yeah. But like for me, most important was I need the person to make me laugh. I need to be able to hang
Yeah,
out with this person.
100%.
And it didn't matter what age it was. It was just like I needed to hang out with him. That's how I would grow sexual attraction and all the other stuff. But I just needed a friend before I needed anything else.
Yeah.
So anyway, that sold me actually. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm single. Give him my number. No problem. She's like, oh my God, awesome. Awesome. So anyway, they give him my number and they're like, she's amazing. You're going to have so much fun, blah, blah, blah. So he reaches out. Hey, again, like I said, never tell a person where you live.
I'm
But
sorry. I'm laughing because I know where the story's going and I'm just so excited.
right. Like it's like, she's like to me, he's gonna reach out and set up a date. Again, like I was saying, um, don't tell a person where you live because I learn on my own mistakes. Well, with this one, whatever. So anyway,
He reaches out.
he reaches out. We set up a date. Everything is fine, completely fine. No issues there. I'm like, okay, well, so Sunday we were gonna go have like an early um
Dinner.
dinner, I guess dinner or brunch or something along the lines. Meanwhile, I'm gonna set it up where I'm telling you, I was just at a birthday party. It was one of my best friend's birthday parties. He's actually gonna be on this podcast in one of these days with his wife. But anyway, so I was very hungover, Shanae. I was like, one eye was telling the other eye to fuck off. It was just one of those. And I come out still looking very pretty with my little outfit. I was much thinner back then. Anyway, so I come in and this little car is parked outside. Very, you would never think. I'm thinking, he's probably very tiny or whatever. But
But you
yeah,
were told he was large.
he's large. And I'm like confused. So the car's like this. So I get in, barely get in. And I see this dude, like it's a Mercedes, it's an expensive car. I see this dude scrunched over like this.
Oh,
But
no.
once again, nice. Hold on, my friend is asking, when do we give me 10 minutes?
I'm excited that she's excited.
So anyway, My friend is scrunching over, like this guy is scrunching over the yeah, over the wheel. And I'm like, wow, he's like folded. He's folded in this car. I don't know how he fits in there. So whatever. So he takes me to this really, really cute Italian restaurant. Meanwhile, I'm still hungover. I'm a little dizzy. Like, but I need coffee. Basically, all I need in that minute is coffee. Speaking of coffee. Anyway. So we come to this restaurant and he goes, okay, he comes out, opens the door. He goes, okay, I'm not really hungry. He like warns me or something. I don't know. I'm not really hungry, so like we'll just have some apps. Is that okay with you? I'm like, that's fine. Comes out of the car. This dude is like almost 7 feet tall. He's about like 500 pounds, this man. Large freaking building refrigerator dude. That's what he looks like. He looks like a freaking refrigerator. Tate comes out. We walk over to the restaurant. I'm like, wow, like I felt so tiny. I mean, that part I enjoyed because I don't really feel tiny with a lot of men. So with him, I felt very, So okay, I'm not paying attention to the weight because again, you lose, you gain. These are things that you can
Right.
manipulate. You don't. You're not. Every person changes through life, so we're not gonna stick to the weight. We're not gonna care about the weight right now. So anyway, for this minute, we get to the restaurant. We sit down. And this guy is just like he's trying to do like opera music sounds as
Okay.
he's having, and I'm like, are you okay? He's like, no, I'm just doing an opera song for you. I'm like, why are you doing this, because and he starts like speaking
Wait,
to
now
me.
I have to let the speakers know when you say why you're so like blunt. I'm just gonna let the speakers know that this is literally Tamara. Like
Yeah,
she is just going to like say it how it is in that moment, not caring in the world how it comes out.
I'm trying to understand this man. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why can't you we just have oh okay. So he starts talking to me normally because apparently
Did you start opera singing with him?
no.
So
That's
I
my
want to
other
know. Okay,
game.
so this starts the horror story, but let's get to the meat of it.
Right. So anyway, he's like, I'm only gonna have apps. This man orders the whole freaking menu.
Okay, so he feels better about ordering small meals,
I,
but he's not
so
hungry.
wait, after he orders the whole menu, he turns to me and goes, what are you gonna
I'm sorry, what?
have? I'm like, what do you mean? I thought you just ordered. He goes, oh no, this is for me. What are you gonna have? And then he's like, I feel uncomfortable with all these mozzarella sticks and all these wings and all this other stuff that I got. Maybe we need a salad. So he orders the meat salad with a
Maybe
bunch of like
we
whole
need a
pepper.
salad, even though he just ordered these for
He
himself.
needed to feel healthy, okay? Whatever. So I ordered a shrimp cocktail. So the food comes out with a bread basket. He takes out the bread. It's like a baguette.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 baguettes there. He takes the baguette and he goes to the waiter. How many sauces, how many dressings do you have? What kind of dressings do you have? And the waiter's like, we have Italian, we have Russian, we have French, blah, blah, blah. Goes through the whole menu. He goes like, bring me one of each. So they bring it out. He takes his baguette, starts like, dipping it inside of these freaking sauces and just shoving it into his face. Like it's not even eating. It's like just like God forbid I miss a drop of this shit. So like just puts it all in his face. And I'm just like, okay. So he goes like, why aren't you eating the cocktail, the shrimp cocktail? The sauce looks really good in there.
Oh
The
God, it's like
marinara
that
sauce.
sauce too.
So I'm like, I drank a little bit too much last night. Like I think I'm gonna pass. Like I'm just gonna have the coffee and. So he takes the baguette. He orders another basket because we're all out because we use that on all the sauces. But forget about the fact that he just shoved all the food, like it just went like this. I know how he got to the 500 pounds. Let's just put it like that, okay?
Okay.
So he takes the other baguette, shoves it right into my marinara sauce, and just starts jamming it with like all the shrimp, and just like starts swallowing it, like he's eating, and it's like all over his face. And I'm like, looking at my phone. I see a text message. Guess from who? My bestie. So the question is, on a scale from 1 to 10, she goes, this, she's not even hi, no, how are you? How's the day go? Nothing. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you hate me? She wrote. I'm not even responding. Not
Wait,
even responding. Well, she wanted me to give him a chance because he's apparently a really nice guy. I'm sure he is with his friends. But who you are with your friends and who you are when you're dating, two different people.
mm,
Um, anyway, so he goes like, you know what? I'm not completely full yet. Do you want to go get some dessert? I'm already in this situation, and I'm like, let's go. Fine, let's do this. Um, Instead of taking me to a coffee dessert place, he takes me to a parking lot in a park.
okay.
So here I am thinking I'm gonna get raped. And I'm sitting in this car, in this teeny tiny car with him, and I'm like, shit.
I don't think that man can move in that car to rape you. So you need
No,
to be okay.
Shanae, he figured out how to maneuver in that vehicle. Let me tell you. He took his stomach, he threw it over the divider, then he flipped himself over on top of me.
Shut
I'm
up.
laying like this. I'm laying like this. And I'm like, dude, like, I can't breathe. What are you doing? He goes like, oh, you know, you know what I find very sexy? I'm like, what? He goes like, butterfly eyelash kisses. And he takes his lashes,
No, no.
presses them to my cheek, and he's laying on top of me, squashing as I feel the air coming out of my lungs.
Oh my.
He, he's, he's caressing my cheek with his eyelashes.
How did this thing end?
I said he needs to get off of me because I cannot breathe. He's like, are you sure? He goes, then he's like, if I said I can't breathe, he goes like, we both have all these sexual juices. We're still like into each other. We gotta control each other. We're such sex
Oh my
people.
god.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to my seat because like we have all this time. We have all this time to do this. I'm like, all right, get off of me. Fuck off of me. Flips his stomach back over there. Like, I don't know. Like, he did like some kind of a circus trick. I don't even know how he maneuvers in this car, to be honest with you. I don't know how he sees the pedals. But forget. Later on, I heard this man lost a lot of weight. He looks wonderful now. Good for him. Happy for him and his wife. But whatever. Now, in this moment, I'm like, and then I pick up my phone and my friend is texting me again. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, do you hate me? Do you not want to speak to me? I'm like, you bitch. We're going to talk when I get home. Right?
Oh my
Hang up the
god.
phone. So yeah, and as we're driving, he's still doing the opera, and I'm like, wow. He goes like, yeah, I feel so good. I met you, and this is wonderful, and blah blah blah. And we get back, and he's like, so I know you had an amazing date. Like, when are we going to see each other again? And I'm like, listen, I'll call you. I left the car. So, moral of the story, guys, don't always listen to your friends.
No, no, no.
Yeah, that was date one and only. The first, the last, and we
Like
never.
memories never. Like the
No, I
sauce.
was just I was extremely happy when I heard that he got healthy and whatnot. However, that experience was just it had to go on the top list because
My god.
yeah. Okay, so I'm
Well,
gonna dial
before
in my friend because she's waiting. But what do you want to ask?
I have a really short one that I wanted to like tell, and this is kind of like we're therapists, so I almost have to wonder like going online and finding somebody. There was a time when I was like dating a lot, whatever. And there's this guy that I met, and we went out for a drink. Really good looking guy, really good shape and all that. I'm like, okay, not bad, whatever. We sit down, we're talking. The conversation was just like it felt like I was having to draw the conversation out. And what ends up happening is that he tells me that he lives still like with his mom. He
Oh,
was married, but wasn't sure if he was over her. Then he started telling me about all his bodily ailments from psychosomatic symptoms, and that his
shit.
legs didn't work, and and his arms this and his not. And he starts telling me about all of the things that he has felt. And I'm sitting there with my jaw dropped, martini there, going, "Oh my gosh, when is this gonna end?" So It was basically a therapy session, and I look at it as like, well, was I paid in money? No, I guess I was paid in a martini.
Yeah.
The next day, he writes back and says, "Thank you so much for such a great date. Um, you made me think about things. I didn't even have room to say anything to him. He said, you made me think about things, and I think I want to try it out with my wife."
Oh my God. Well, you should have. That's a blessing. Like I said, like
Total blessing, but I was like, this guy is a mess. And I'm like, oh, you are absolutely kind. And I think that's such a great idea based on our conversation. And that
I
was,
mean, at the end of the day, like I said, thank God for small miracles
mm,
because if we're
mhm,
going to be that realization, we're going to help them figure out that they could go torture somebody else. That's wonderful. Why do we need
yeah,
to be part of this?
yeah, yeah.
So,
But sometimes I just wonder as therapists, like, have you ever had people that come up to you like, oh my God, you're a therapist? And then like they start telling your problems.
yeah, they think I'm going to be their therapist. I'm like, dude,
Yeah. And my
I'm like,
response
get in
is, it sounds
line.
like you need a therapist.
Get in line. Let me know what your insurance is. I'll let you know if we take it. I can't be your therapist because I already know you. So I
Yeah,
already know the deal. We don't need to do
exactly.
this.
All right, we got to call her.
Okay. I'm dialing her in. She is waiting. Give me 1 second.
I cannot wait. I read the story and I'm so excited to be able to have
She
our.
had several, but like I feel like this is the best one. So, can you hear?
Yeah.
Yep. Hi, my dear. Say hello to our audience. Hello. Hello, everybody. You're not on screen, but we could hear your call. So, Shanae and I, you could introduce yourself to Shanae if you'd like. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you? I'm really excited to hear your story.
Yes. So we think that the best one right now would be the sock guy because I think that's like
Yes. Yeah.
that really captivated
Yes.
all of us. And I know it's been a minute because now you're a married mom of two. So tell us about what happened. So, I have not been single very much in my life, but this happened to be about a year where I was single in my mid 20s. And I also happened to be away for work. So the only way that I could actually talk to somebody who would be local to me where I live would be online. So I decided to try out online dating. And I went to JDate. Not because I was looking for somebody Jewish, but it just was a site that I thought would be good for me. And I did meet somebody, and I started talking to this guy. We talked for about a month or so. We talked to each other on video, so we did see each other, but we didn't really, see each other in perspective. Um, so typically, I like taller guys, even though I'm like 5 foot nothing. Like I'm literally 5'1". I'm tiny. But my boyfriends have generally been closer to like 6 feet tall. My husband is 6'1". So him being on the shorter side wasn't the deal breaker. But what the issue was that he lied. He lied about a lot of things.
When don't they?
But let me tell you about our first date. So after talking for about a month, we decided to meet up because I was coming back to, I lived in Queens at the time, and so did he. So I was coming back to Queens. So we decided, okay, great time to meet up. So he told me, oh, I've been going to this amazing restaurant on Austin Street. Let's go there. I know everybody there. Uh, so I show up. I'm a little late. I'm trying to find parking. And I I find a restaurant and it's closed, like doors shut down, like paper on the windows kind of closed. So,
Like
so I
Manson?
call him and I'm like, hey, this restaurant it's closed.
So he asks me, "What are you wearing?" And which is kind of weird because I'm like, he's seen me on video, he's seen a picture of me, like he should he should be able to recognize me. So he tells me he parked 3 cars down. So this guy who is barely my height gets out, and I'm like, okay, whatever. He was shy about his height. He didn't want it to be a deal breaker. I'm like, I'll give him a chance. The restaurant part was kind of weird though. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe a restaurant just closed. I'm giving him a lot of leeway at this point. I really am. So she gets out, says
Flags.
hello. We go to a restaurant that's around the
Red
corner,
flags.
and we sit down. We order drinks, appetizers, and
Wait, interrupt you for a second.
we start.
Wait,
Yes.
Shanae wants to ask you
So I
something.
want the question. So the restaurant actually existed, or was it a different restaurant?
Um, I don't know if that restaurant ever existed, but at that time, that place was pretty much boarded up. So I don't know what was there before.
So
So what did you
maybe
eat? What
he
did you eat then?
last time he dated was when he went to that place. It happens.
It's New York. They close all the time.
Yeah, I gave him the benefit of the doubt on that one. I was like,
You
not
gave
a
him too
problem.
many benefits of the
Closed
doubt.
down. Didn't know it happens. Um, but it didn't really matter where we go. It was more about meeting up and getting to know each other in person because you're different over the phone. You really are. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
just certain things. So we're having a nice conversation. We're just kind of talking about each other, and what each one of us likes and who we are. And so I tell him that I'm really not the type of girl that needs to match my hairband to my underwear. And
Engineer talk. She's an engineer, so
Oh, got it. Got it.
go on.
so he says, well, like you have to match somewhat. So I tell him that I'm wearing, you know, green socks and a black, and a black bra, and he's like, well. Wait 1 second. And mind you, my boots are kind of like the taller kind, so there's no way you could see my socks. Nor can you see my bra for that
But
matter.
he's already imagining it. That's the problem.
So imagining it is fine. We're on a date. If it's a date that goes well, and he's eventually imagining what that was. That I wouldn't have a problem with that. But he ended up hyper focusing on my socks to the point where he wanted to run out to the CVS that was across the street to buy me a pair of black socks.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, so at this point, I'm a little, weirded out. I'm like, okay, fine. He has certain expectations. Fine, I can potentially work with that. I'm getting a little, uncomfortable at this point, though.
Yeah.
Um, so I tried to switch the topic to, work, theater, books, anything other than my socks. He keeps coming back to my socks. It he
Did he
can't
look
seem to
intense?
understand how a person can put on socks that don't match the rest of their undergarments.
Oh my god.
So
Ask her if
at that
did,
point,
did
I'm
he look
like, okay.
intense during this time?
I'm like,
Hold on, she's asking you what? What did you say?
So I'm trying to like picture his facial. Like, is he like totally looking intense at this time? Like, what is he looking like?
I couldn't hear what
She's
she said.
asking if he was looking intense at the time. What
I'm
does he
trying to
look
picture
like?
him.
She's trying to picture him like what his facial is like. Is he serious or is he being
Yeah.
and is this an actual is he trying to be
Like, does
joking
he
about
look
it or
anxious over this?
is he getting anxious over this? Like what
So at first, like he seems pretty serious, but sometimes you think that a person is serious, but they're just keeping like a serious face while they're joking. So
Sure.
at first, I thought that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
But as he kept coming back to my socks, he started kind of like playing with his napkin and just kind of like shifting around in his seat.
Yeah.
This is like an OCD moment.
So I think he was serious.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, like other than that, he was a very nice, intelligent guy. Like I I think that if I did not mention this, like if I did not mention my socks, there probably would have been a second date. I mean,
Wait,
maybe
but
even a
ask her a
relationship,
question.
but doesn't tell my
She's
socks.
she's asking a question. Hold on. Go on.
And hopefully she can hear me. But would there have been a second date knowing that he was barely taller than you?
I could not
She said,
hear.
would there have been a second date knowing that he's barely taller than you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I just happen to, I guess, end up with taller guys. I'm not specifically looking for one, but at the same time, attraction is attraction. I found the guy
Sure.
attractive enough. I don't know if if would have been a long term relationship, but it really didn't. It had no chance after my socks.
So hold on. Did he buy you the socks?
I wouldn't let him. I
Oh.
was like,
We thought it got to that.
it's okay. I really don't need the socks. Like I'm good. Like thank you. I can change my socks when I get home. Thank you.
This would have been like, like a little souvenir, like for the collection of weird
Red flag souvenir.
red flag souvenirs. Yeah, but so how did it end? How did you let him go? How did you set him free?
So
She
so
waved
like
the
I
white
mentioned,
sock.
he was like a nice and intelligent guy. So he walked me to my car.
Okay.
I kissed him on the cheek, and he said, "There's not going to be a second date, is there?" I'm like,
Oh.
"No, I'm sorry."
Wah, wah, wah. Okay. So did
So
you? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so we did stay friends on Facebook, and he did reach out years. I want to say maybe a good like 5 or 6 years later,
Wow.
uh, to let me know that he's engaged and getting married.
Finally found the good sock.
Yeah, finally found somebody with undergarments.
And may their undergarments and
So
socks always match.
I told him congratulations, and I haven't heard from him since. But
Well, he needed to let you know because it's a big deal for him. Like maybe this stayed with him. You know what I mean? Like maybe this date where this came out of him. Like you took, like Shanae and I were talking about this last week, I believe, or week before that. Yeah, we were talking about where to meet men and the red flags,
yeah,
and basically we were saying, yeah, red flags. We were saying that they will tell you sometimes on date number one.
Absolutely.
And this is like that's why it's so important. Like she I don't think she meant to bring this out in this person. All she was trying, honestly, let's say what it is. She was trying to like turn him on. I'm wearing a bra. Da, da, da. She's trying to make this guy
And
imagine
socks.
what's underneath her garment, underneath what she's wearing. And this dude just went straight to his OCD. He just like he missed that train. He just went straight for the psychosis piece of this, and he was just like, I need to make her socks match.
Red
I
flag.
need I need
Red
I
flag.
need I need to go home and not think about the green and the black bra. And so you brought it out in him and you hit the you should have been a therapist too, honestly.
I don't know. I give her credit for sitting in the date for that long.
Yeah, she did. You got through it and we applaud that.
With class, girly. With
Oh,
class.
I mean, for me, it was a very strange time in my life. I was away on a so I'm an engineer, and at the time I was the engineer in charge for a substation. So we're talking about me and like 60 guys on a construction site.
Could have a guy there.
And all these guys. So this was in Plattsburgh, and all these guys are from Long Island. So everybody's kind of like doesn't know anybody in this area. And I had a very, very hard time trusting men after seeing what these guys are doing. I like after that, I would never let my husband go on an away project for you know for more than a week. Never.
Ooh,
No matter how good the guy is, the things that I've seen there is just uh, unacceptable.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
when you
gonna have
leave
to be
men
another
by
episode.
themselves, it's like prison. There's no women. It's like jail, honestly. They start to look at each other weird, and then,
Okay,
then they
that's
start.
so seriously.
Well,
Well, I mean, in a way where like, let's go and find some adventure. That's what I'm saying. But in prison, it's a little different adventure. Anyway,
no,
And
no, no.
that'll
They
be a
have
different
that
episode.
too.
I think that's another episode though. But Gina, we would love to have you
Thank you.
back. Thank
Yes,
you so much for
absolutely.
sharing. I'm going to see you soon. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
All
you
right.
so
Bye, sweetie.
much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that was awesome.
God, that is funny. Oh my God.
Whew, this girl had so many stories. Like this is just the crust. Honestly,
Okay,
there's so many.
man, I feel
There's so
boring
many
compared to so many
adventures.
of you.
Okay, but I do want to get into a couple of guys
Yeah.
that I had in this group, and I actually spoke to one of them yesterday. He allowed me to share his story. I don't know. Do you want to read a part of it, or do you want me to do the whole
You
thing?
do it because I don't have it up.
Okay. All right. So I'll do it. Brace yourself for this one, guys, because this is not your ordinary dating story. All right. He asked to remain anonymous, so I'm going to respect those boundaries, and I'm not going to give you his name.
What a good
But at the
therapist you are.
yeah, I know. Pat myself on the back. But I will tell you that at the time that this happened, which was around, I'm going to say 12, 13 years ago, this male was 35, straight,
Was straight or
everything,
still straight?
still straight,
All right.
still straight, so straight, very straight. You're going
Just,
to see by the story how
I'm just
straight he is.
wondering.
But
I'm just wondering if, like, for some reason, he turned into a different direction.
no, 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 no. This didn't change anything for him. Even though that would be awesome if this story
Brought him
made
out.
him understand something
Yeah, for
else, right?
sure.
But in this case, no, we
Let's do
we
this.
still we still stay straight. Okay, so he begins the story saying, "I am probably going to regret sharing this, for this fun-loving dame might just be on Facebook, knowing my luck, but here it goes." After a late evening date, a young lady, 22 or so, too young for me, I now realize, got into my little car, shut the door, and before I could turn on the ignition, lifted her dress, perched her legs high up on the dashboard, spread her thighs, pulled the stringy part of her G string gently to the side, and proceeded to masturbate right in front of me. And, and when I say masturbate, I mean an epic rubdown, which sent sparks flying all over my upholstery and almost set the thing aflame. And when I say in front of, I mean us still parked just in front of the cafe we just walked out of. A light post above us, beaming right down on her reddening labia. Couples walking past, staring, double taking. It was awesome and terrifying. Awesome because, well, I really like vagina, and terrifying because that kind of public nuisance happens to be illegal in New York State. And seeing as I'm a slender and have green eyes, I'll be everyone's favorite in prison. Not knowing what to do, I just threw my jacket over her. and let her finish. But that's not the funny part. After bringing herself to a satisfying climax, the young lady looked at me seductively and said, "You're a sexy bitch. I'm going to brand you." And yes, she leaned over and bit me. And when I say bit me, I mean took a chunk of flesh out of my neck, causing a massive week-long swelling for which I needed shots. We're still dating. Oh, just kidding.
Okay, I have so many questions and I wish we had him.
He's anonymous,
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, yeah, I know, I
He's
know,
a
I
dad
know.
now. He's married, so you
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so what makes a woman think? We can throw guys in there too, right? But in this
Yeah.
case, woman. What makes her think that any man is gonna want to sit here and marry that? Uh, like I don't know. Like, what was her what? Yeah, I'm speechless, and that's hard to do. Like, what was she hoping to gain from this?
So I mean, I find that there's a buyer for every merchandise in like that's what we say in Russia. There's a buyer for every merchandise. So there's got to be somewhere someone I'm sure people are into this. There's actually this is fetish. This is a fetish, right? Just like foot fetishes, this is her thing. She likes to brand like she's the master.
But
You know
is
what I
he
mean? This
like
is like
that? Like,
dominatrix.
would
This
he
is
be
S&M
someone?
stuff. In my understanding, this
Hundred
is this is
percent.
right. So she has daddy issues. That's
But
basically what it
but is he the
No, I'm
kind of
joking.
person to appreciate that kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if they met at in a specific community, right? That's
The S&M community.
yeah, BDSM, S&M, whatever. If they met in that specific community, and in that at that point, like you discuss before you have these kind of interactions. You discuss safe words,
Sure.
like what are you into, what's okay, what's not. This was clearly
She
not
didn't
okay for
discuss.
them.
She did not discuss.
She just bit. She just went for it, to see
Oh,
what's
she
gonna
went for
happen.
all of it.
Right. So, but no, the good side of it is that now, so many years later, we still have this gem and we could look back on it and laugh. I actually
Yeah.
I messaged him yesterday asking him if I could do this and he goes like, "Oh my God."
Oh my
He goes like,
God.
"It's nice to reminisce, but holy shit." Right?
Oh my
So
God.
yeah.
So, like, I'm excited for us. I mean, I know this is the first episode of Dating Horror Stories.
Mhm.
But the next one we do, when we do it, I'm gonna be excited to have more callers like we did with Gina today.
Yeah, I think Gina did great and we'll definitely get more. I'm sure we have plenty of people who would be interested in
Absolutely.
telling their stories.
So much fun.
Yeah. You want to
But
wrap
listen,
up?
this just goes to show all these red flags. The red
Yeah.
flags are everywhere, like all the time, for men,
Yeah.
for women.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So we're gonna wrap up today's episode because we really dug in and found out all these things. And there's gonna be more. There's more coming.
Next time I want the
Uh,
penis story says,
there's
and the poop story. Next time I want you to throw out the poop
I
and
will
penis
I will tell you
story.
guys there's oh my god, there's so many stories, guys. There's so many stories. That's why I was planning to write a book eventually once I was done
You
with
so
everything.
have to.
But yeah, one day when I get around to it, I'll definitely have my dating horror story book. But to all our listeners who were part of this group, because I know some of you are out there, I know I shared this podcast with you, so I know you're listening. I hope you enjoyed the laugh, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.